That crash happened so quickly. That car or semi seemed to come out of nowhere. You fell before you even realized it was slippery. Injuries can happen before you have any idea there's a danger. And then it seems like the calls start right away. An insurance company adjuster is calling you, hounding you for a recorded statement. Your doctor's office or hospital wants to know when you're going to pay those medical bills and how you're going to pay for the next ones. Your boss probably wants to know when you'll be back to work, and you're left trying to deal with pain, doctor's appointments, missed work, and an insurance claim process that feels way more complicated than it needs to be. If you were hurt in a car crash, trucking accident, workplace injury, trip and fall, or some other serious incident in Platteville or Grant County, you may be wondering whether you need a Platteville Personal Injury Lawyer. You see, Wisconsin personal injury claims can involve a lot of different laws and rules. Auto accident rules, traffic laws, premises liability laws, commercial trucking rules and regulations, product liability statutes, insurance deadlines and policies, and deadlines that you may not even know exist. I'm Craig Steger. I'm a personal injury attorney with more than 20 years of experience handling personal serious injury claims and cases across western Wisconsin and trials against big insurance companies and corporations. Here are 3 things you should know after a Platteville personal injury. First, you don't have to give a recorded statement without talking to an attorney first, and you never have to give a recorded statement to the other driver or other person's insurance company. Insurance adjusters like to make recorded statements sound routine or that they're mandatory and you don't have a choice in the matter, or they'll tell you that they just want your side of the story or they're trying to move your claim forward. But if you're in pain or you're on medication, recovering from surgery, not sleeping well, or maybe you're just confused and overwhelmed by the process, giving a recorded statement without some help can create big problems later on. At that point, you may not know the full extent of your injuries, nor may your doctors. You probably don't know if there were witnesses and what they saw or heard. You may not know whether there was video that captured the entire thing, or whether there was a defective condition that caused or contributed to your injuries, whether there was some safety rule or trucking regulation that was violated. You probably won't know whose insurance company is responsible and whether there's coverage. So before giving a recorded statement, you need to understand who's asking for it, which insurance company are they and who do they represent, and are you legally required to give it? Now, that doesn't mean you can ignore the insurance company, but you shouldn't walk into a recorded interview blind. Talk to an attorney first. The consultations are free. Second, photograph and document the scene as soon as possible, or have someone do that for you. This is really important when someone's injury arises from some sort of a temporary condition. If you slipped on some ice, the ice melts or gets covered or salted. A broken step that seemed to have been out of repair for a long time suddenly gets repaired. Wet floors get mopped right away. Cars get moved, repaired, or sometimes lost. Farm machinery may not be there anymore. Damaged products can disappear. Skid marks even fade. That debris, that gets picked up as well. So if you can do it safely, take photos and video from all kinds of different angles and close up and far away. You want to try and show whatever conditions may have caused or contributed to the accident or your injuries. You want to capture the surrounding area, any vehicle damage, obviously, any machinery or equipment involved, any names, contact information, or logos that are on the sides of equipment, trucks, or other pieces of machinery. You want to capture things like lighting. Are there warning signs? What were the weather conditions? And was there anything else that may have contributed to what happened? If you can, get names and phone numbers for any witnesses. And you want to write down what happened while it's still fresh in your mind. What you were doing, where you were going, what you saw, felt, who was there, what was said. Video evidence needs to get requested early if it exists. A nearby gas station or maybe a home or other business may have security footage that captured some or all of what happened. but it needs to get requested and saved right away. Otherwise, it gets deleted or recorded over. In a Platteville personal injury claim, video evidence can make all the difference between a strong case and one that the insurance company denies outright. Third, and probably most important, get medical attention as soon as possible and try to follow your doctor's recommendations. This isn't a time to tough it out. After a serious injury, delaying treatment can be harmful to your health, but it can also hurt your case. So get checked out. Tell your medical providers what hurts, where it hurts, and how it interferes with your life. Now, don't exaggerate your symptoms, but don't downplay them or minimize them either. If your neck hurts, make sure you tell them that your neck hurts. If it's your back, which part of your back and what kinds of activities make it worse. Maybe it's your shoulder, knees, head, hips, ribs, hands, or any other part of your body. Make sure you mention all of the parts of your body that were injured or experiencing pain, even if some are worse than others. If your symptoms get worse over the next few days or because of certain activities, tell them that as well. Now, some injuries are pretty obvious right away, broken bones, trauma, things like that. But other things don't show up until the shock or adrenaline wears off. Now, follow the doctor's treatment plans. Go to your appointments, and if you're going to miss an appointment, make sure you tell them ahead of time. If they send you to therapy, do the therapy and the home exercises and complete the therapy, even if you start to feel better before it's done. You want to follow up with any specialist that they send you to or go to any imaging studies, x-rays, MRIs, things like that. Insurance companies, they look for delays. They love gaps in treatment or skipped medical appointments or someone that stops physical therapy halfway through. They look for any excuse to argue that you probably weren't even hurt, or if you were hurt, it was minor and you recovered very quickly. Good medical care protects your health, and it also helps create that important documentation that will be necessary to prove your injuries and the effects that they had on your life later on. A serious injury case isn't just a bunch of paperwork, it's your health, your work, job, your bills, and how are you going to pay them, your family, and sometimes your future. And if someone dies because of unsafe driving, dangerous property, defective products, unsafe work conditions, your family needs to speak with a wrongful death lawyer about what Wisconsin wrongful death law allows and doesn't allow. If you have questions after a serious injury in Platteville or the surrounding area, talk to an attorney as soon as possible. The consultations are free. And if you want to understand what happens next, just watch the next video on the screen or one of the pinned videos below, where I explain the entire process of a Wisconsin personal injury claim from start to finish.